Okay, here we are, live again, Saturday morning. What that means? Prosperity time. So I'm excited because, every Saturday here, if you can mute your microphone will be wonderful because I can hear a lot of sounds in the background. But I will mute your microphone, Dr. Fran, just for a moment, and Celio too. And I just to have the space to welcome here, everyone, and to celebrate that we have a space that is safe for all of us to open up to our desire of prosperity, and to really manifest here our full potential and enjoy this consciousness of all possibilities. So here we are, every Saturday, 10 a.m. Eastern Time, under unlimitednetwork.com/mastermind. And many of us, we come here into the panel. But by the way, today is Saturday, February 21st, just to know what the date we have today, But I just want to welcome all of us here in the panel and all the ones that you are on the other side, I call, in quotes, seeing the recording, the live stream here. But remember, if you want to be part of this panel, you just need to email Arne, A-R-N-E, at unlimitednetwork.com, and you will have access to a special link that you need for you to be here. Today is what? Oh, you're right, February 20th, Saturday, February 20, perfect. So thank you, Celio, for that correction. So here we are, and this space is really dedicated to people like you, like me here, like conscious entrepreneurs that we want to master, the laws of creation, manifestations. We want to switch from this consciousness of struggle, effort, limitations to ease, grace, perfection, flowing. We are closer. So I'm very happy to be part of this group. And at this very moment, we are studying this book that is called The Abundance Book by Lawrence Crane. And I love to have you here today, Doc Fran, because you are the one leading us on this book. You're the one that knows the power, I think, from experience, I suppose. But we started last Saturday reading the introduction to know, the story or how this came to be alive, this book, And I would love to hear from you, Doc Fran, your own why you chose this book. And then to continue, we stopped last week on page 7 is where we start today. That will be the chapter 1. But before we do that, Dr. Fran, if you can nurture us with your wisdom and why do you think this book is the one that could be important for us, even though I just to read the chapter of today that the release technique, I can understand, but I would love to hear your words and to welcome all of you. So welcome, Dr. Fran, if you're ready.
Well, good morning, everyone, and thank you, Dr. Monica. Yeah, I'm excited to do this book. We were introduced to it by our son and daughter-in-law, Justin and Alana, and they're very spiritually aware, spiritually conscious people. And the thing that I liked about it is it's one thing to delve into the books that are exposing or educating us on the metaphysical principles of success, and that's what we did with our last book, Money and the Law of Attraction. It's pretty much a metaphysical exercise, and the thing that I liked about this book is that while it is based on the metaphysical phenomenon, it's actually a practical how-to book. And it gives you step-by-step guidance on how to apply this release technique to actually accomplish the expansion of your abundance in all aspects of your life that we are on this planet to do. All of us come into this planet with a life purpose. All of us are born with the intrinsic ability to have everything on this planet in abundance, and God set this up in such a way that it is a constantly expanding, never limited, abundant universe. It doesn't matter if every one of the several billion people on this planet suddenly became spiritually conscious and spiritually adept at creating $1 billion for themselves, let's say. We would create out of this infinite universe, that collective consciousness would force the creation of the hundreds and thousands of trillions of dollars necessary to accomplish that goal for everybody. So it's a very interesting phenomenon, and it was explained to me. It's just like we had a global consciousness that we were running out of oil, and of course, you know, ever since oil's been discovered, the worrywarts and the fearmongers and the chaos merchants have been predicting the dire consequences of running out of oil and using up our oil, and we're running out of oil, and we're, you know, what are we going to do? Woe is me, woe is me. And isn't it fascinating that suddenly in this last 5 years, new reserves, quote, new reserves have been discovered that total hundreds of billions of gallons of oil. And that's why we're seeing the manifestation of that now. Gasoline has gone over the last 3 years in South Florida from approaching $5 a gallon to yesterday I paid $1.65 a gallon. And $1.65 is better. So, and we also learned, you know, when in one of the Wayne Dyer and the, I'm not sure whether it was Wayne Dyer's book or whether it was in our Abraham books, but if the world suddenly decided that it needed more gold, the collective consciousness out of the formless mass would create more gold, and just, quote, by coincidence, someone would stumble upon this massive cache of gold that would satisfy the collective need for more gold. That's the way God created our universe. It's absolutely fabulous. So, with all that done as background, isn't it kind of fun for us this morning to sit down and really start to fine-tune exactly how do we apply this metaphysics to our life? What simple techniques? What can we learn? What can we drill? What can we practice? Because we all know that practice makes perfect. So without any further ado, I want to jump right into chapter 1, which kind of gives us an overview of the release technique, and it whets our appetite for why we should study this book, why we should master this book, and certainly why we should enjoy the progressive unfolding of abundance as we apply this book. So chapter 1, the release technique, and its profound effects on every aspect of life. Unique features of the release technique. The release technique is the only technique that enables you to eliminate stress at its source, as you feel it, as opposed to trying to manage, avoid, or cope with the symptoms and effects of stress. How many people on the phone here today would love to remove stress from their life? You know, absolutely, especially distress. I mean, there's certain amounts of stress that are good and it's exciting, and you know, when you're on a new date with a new person and they're kind of attractive, there's a little bit of stress there that, you know, ultimately is kind of fun. Where is this going to go? What's going to happen? But distress is not something that's fun. This technique is self-empowering and helps you to become self-sufficient by avoiding dependent relationships on counselors, trainers, or other outside authorities. How many of us have spent thousands and hundreds of thousands of dollars on outside sources trying to get someone to tell us the secrets that we seek, to just make it happen for us? We all know it doesn't. It all comes from within. The release technique works anywhere, anytime, on any issue in your personal or professional life. Results increase over time. The effect of eliminating stress is cumulative. The more you use this method, the greater your ability to make positive changes in behavior and to handle difficult situations with greater ease. This exciting and enlightening course will help you rid yourself of fear, which is holding you back from having everything in life. Rid yourself of failure habits that hold you back in life, such as procrastination. Find out just what satisfaction is and how to get it. Feel love at any time you want it with ease. Learn how to trust yourself. How many people on the phone would love to learn how to actually trust yourself and quit inflicting the self-doubt that all of us do on a relentless, continuous basis? At least I know I do. It seems to me everyone does. Rid yourself of worrying and spinning. Worrying, I've often said, is just praying for what you don't want. So we certainly don't want to do that. Spinning means being hung up in doubt, that you don't make any progress at all. You just sit and spin in your present point in time and space because you have no idea what direction to move in. It's going to help us access answers from our higher selves instead of being frustrated with old answers or no answers. It's going to rid us of our habit of beating ourselves up. It's going to clear away the years of accumulated confusion. I've had a lot of years to accumulate confusion. God, does that sound good to me, man? And have abundant health, joy, and riches, certainly enjoyable, and be in total control of your life with ease. The release technique is unique. It is not a compilation or takeoff on any other course or technique. Dr. David Hawkins, known as the father of orthomolecular psychiatry, the drug maker, who published a textbook on the subject with Nobel Prize winner Linus Pauling, conducted scientific studies on the release technique. He states, quote, "The release technique is more effective than the other approaches currently available to relieving the physiologic responses to stress. Simply stated, this technique releases emotional attachments and aversions. Attachments and aversions are the cause of all suffering on every level." This is a critical thought. Does anybody have a thought on that?
Yeah, that actually you know, I have my basis in Tibetan very much, but they are saying there are three causes to all our problems, and you just mentioned two of them: aversion, attachment, and the third one is ignorance or unknowing, not knowing that there is something else. So it covers it pretty much.
Yeah, thanks. It is fun to get insights from various religious teachings. Who's up?
I want to share something about attachment too, because the practical aspect of you know, like to discover where attachment really comes, you know, and how we engage from attachment until now. And to me, is to really surrender, you know, that when you don't know who you truly are, you really believe, you know, you really believe that whatever it is that you get, you have to possess, you know, because it's, I don't know, like defines you, or you know, is yours as a property, you know, like the me, whatever. And I can see from my own, let's say, enlightening path, you know, it's not like something that I learned on a book or anything like that, but for me, the freedom of being more and more connected with Source, that I think this technique is going to help us to really feel our core, you know, our true nature, is freedom by nature, you know. So I think I really see that this sense of attachment and identification with whatever it is that, whatever, titles, things, whatever, you know, is going to be how to say, like, easily to free, you know, because we go inwards, you know. It's not like we have to fix it here. It's not a bad thing, the attachment in itself. It's just a consequence of our own ignorance, you know, and not knowing really who we truly are. So I love to see that we are going to free ourselves from this kind of limitation, really, you know. Thank you. Yes.
Well, for our listeners who may not be familiar with attachments or the mechanism of attachments, the very simple definition of that is the identification by a being, you, with any object or event or person or thought, and identifying that as self. And you know, that's where we begin to create confusions for ourselves, because as self, as immortal spiritual beings, we are 100% perfect and complete. And we only allow the concept of attachments or the implementation of attachments as, again, you know, as a mechanism to limit ourselves. It's a game we play, bouncing between the spiritual world and the physical world. So, all right.
On a practical level, from my IMO, my point of view is the attachment, the aversion, and even the not knowing, the ignorance. All of them, it boils down to one thing, which is we are not here now. We are not living in the now. We are living in attachment to the past, which is not
Yeah.
now, or aversion against the past, or desire for the future, a need for the future. It's all, we are not here to experience the God being that we are, or the divine being, and the magnificence of now, because most of us are experiencing incredible nows if we just stayed with that. But then our concept comes in, oh, I don't like, or I need, or I don't understand, or all that, and it just takes us out of the now. So that's a simple way, I think.
Well, it's very true, Arnie. And you know, one of the easiest ways for our listeners that may not be, again, intimately aware of the concept of now, if you think, you can ask yourself a very simple question: when is the only time you can effect an action? Can you take an action in the past? No. Can you take an action in the future? No. The only time you can take action is now. So that's why now is so powerful. That's why we invent a trillion excuses to not be in the now and to allow our mind to wander into the past or into the future. Again, another game that we play. So the mind with its thoughts is driven by feelings. Each feeling is the cumulative derivative of many thousands of thoughts. The accumulated feelings can cause illness as well as blocking success in all areas of life. The benefits of the release technique can therefore be described on various levels. On the physical level, as a person constantly releases, physical and psychosomatic disorders improve and frequently ultimately disappear altogether. There is a general reversal of pathologic processes in the body and a return to optimum functioning. Behavioral. Because there is a progressive decrease of anxiety and negative emotions, there is less and less need for escapism via drugs, alcohol, entertainment, or excessive sleeping. As negative feelings are released, there is a progressive increase of positive feelings, which results in quickly observable improvements in all relationships, with the increase in the capacity to love. Of greater importance is the progressive diminution of dependency, that bane of all human relationships, which underlies so much pain and suffering, up to and including violence and suicide as its ultimate expression. There is also a diminution of aggressiveness and hostile behavior, and its replacement with feelings of acceptance and lovingness towards others. We have another benefit in emotional growth. The most obvious and visible effect of releasing is a resumption of emotional and psychological growth and the solving of problems which often have been of long standing. When the feeling is let go, the thought pattern changes from I can't to I can. Most people are too exhausted to bring really high quality into their experiences unless the negative programs opposing them have been resolved. Problem solving. The effectiveness of the method in problem solving often is quite astonishing. Usually the mind hunts and pecks endlessly, fumbling around with first this possible answer and then that one. The reason the mind can't decide is because it is looking in the wrong place. The use of the method is also very rewarding in all decision making. When the action that was decided upon was taken, the underlying feeling shifts. Then, from the viewpoint of the new feeling space, the decision turns out to be a decision that you really did not want. This happens with such regularity that most people develop a fear of decision making. Problem solving using the releasing method can often be lightning quick with problems of long standing. Look to see what is the underlying feeling that produced the question in the first place. Once you let that go, the answer will present itself automatically. Release technique helps with goal setting and achievement. Wanting to change something can be the primary impediment to change. Longing reinforces our sense of lack and strengthens feelings of neediness. This system concentrates specifically on releasing the frustrations and tensions associated with unmet expectations. How many of you remember the very specific trainings on this from our last study of money and the law of attraction? So you can't achieve abundance coming from a vibration of lack or need. So again, essential truths are essential truths, and you can read 1,000 books and you'll have 1,000 different descriptions of the exact same essential truth. It helps with your lifestyle. You will notice a lot of your activities, like your attachments and aversions, are based on fear and anger, guilt and pride. As these are released in any given area, you move up to courage. The energy requirement will certainly be much less to operate in courage. One delightful discovery you will make is that your capacity for love is far beyond what you ever dreamt. The more you release, the more loving you become. You are now influencing everyone with whom you come into contact in a favorable way. Love is the most powerful of the emotional energy vibrations. For love, people will go to any length and do things that they would never do for any amount of money. There tends to be more reliance on intuition and feelings than on thinking, reason, and logic. Paradoxically, in this elevated state of consciousness, one experiences effortless attainment of any and all goals, relationships, position, money, health, and looks spontaneously improve to previously unimagined levels. One surprising observation about the releasing method is that major changes can take place very rapidly. The energy released by the letting go of negativity now flows into positive attitudes, thoughts, and feelings, so that there is a progressive increase of personal power. Thoughts are now more effective. More and more is accomplished with less and less effort. Intention is made powerful by the removal of doubts, fears, and inhibitions. The resolution of psychological problems and the comparison with psychotherapy. In general, releasing is far more rapid than psychotherapy on any variety. It is also far more liberating and far more stimulating to growth of consciousness and awareness. Psychotherapy, however, is better designed to elucidate underlying patterns. Releasing is concerned with the emotional what from moment to moment, and it does not involve intellect. The why becomes apparent of itself once the what has been released. Releasing has a domino effect in that releasing on one negative feeling also releases the energy behind all other negative feelings. So there is a constant across-the-board benefit. The goal of releasing is the elimination of the very source of all suffering and pain. Who wants that? Raise your hand. Ultimately, all negative feelings stem from the ego. When enough negative feelings have been released, your true self is revealed. When the ego itself is released upon, the ego dissolves. The source of suffering, your ego, therefore loses the very essence of its power. Each of us has a certain amount of limitations directly related to the amount of negative feelings we have stored up. A person with little fear or anger primarily feels love all the time and experiences a loving acceptance of events and people and the vicissitudes of life. The goal of releasing is to get to a place where you have abundance, where nothing and nobody can ever bother you again. Then you will forever be happy with no pain or sorrow. My wish for everyone is that everyone attain the highest state possible, so that here on earth we have that heaven that everyone dreams of, where life is beautiful, life is easy, and everyone has the greatest love and respect for everyone else. To sum it up, my overall wish is for everyone to fully know what I know, so that all misery and unhappiness may be at an end. It is easy to show you how to have abundance, because the ability to have abundance is already there in you. After scientifically proving that this system works for everyone who learns it, my only wish is to have as many people as possible learn how to have abundance with ease. And you are about to join the thousands in having abundance for yourself. So welcome aboard. Well,
I had an interesting experience a couple of nights ago. We had a party here, and it became very, some people said aggressive. But I found myself not being, I was involved in talking and keeping all the sheep in order, but inside I just felt love. I just felt good. I was not hearing any aggression. I was not hearing it. So it was very weird. But so I can see that there is a possibility that he's talking about here. I don't know how it came about. I just know that I was there.
Thank you. I would like to, wow. I love it, love it. I'm so passionate about this, you know, but it's so related to the kind of coaching that I do myself, that is really about embracing what is in the moment. So I'm so excited about learning how to do this, how to intellectually explain it and to understand, and, you know, because I'm so intuitive myself that I do things and I love it, like, yeah, all the time, you know. But one thing that I want to acknowledge at this very moment is you, Doc Fran, the way that we started this mastermind, that you guided us with this mastermind in the beginning. Last week I was talking with a friend, and she was telling me, you know, that she was jumping on fear, you know, about all the comments and, you know, financial situation in United States, besides Spain, that I'm familiar already here and all that stuff, whatever. But I mean, really bad, you know, oh my gosh, we really have to be careful. And I'm like, oops. You know, so, and it's a woman that is a really good friend of mine that I can talk consciously, I mean, conscious level, you know. So I was telling her, like, okay, I can hear, you know, but I mean, you know, you're not going to find a solution engaging from that fear that you're having right now. So let's see if we can relax in it and let it go. And maybe another kind of creativity can come up that is more in connection with our true nature. She was super open, so, you know, she was feeling much better at the end of the conversation. But what I want to say, Doc Fran, what you said about to don't lose, you know, that knowledge, capital letters, that we have from all the books that we have studied here, about that consciousness is unlimited. And like you were saying before, you know, if this planet, this civilization needs gold, we will find the goal, because we are creating that, you know. So to really stick, I will say, I mean, that's the value of this mastermind, of these groups like this, you know, because it's so easy to get swallowed, you know, by the collective fear and the most frequent thinking that we have on TV and all our civilization, I will say, you know. But people like you, Doc Frank, or like us here, you know, like, hey, stop for a second, you know, who are you? And to really have this passion, you know, for realizing in this physical world the truth that we know in our heart, you know. And I know it's not so easy, because the pool, the mainstream goes in another direction, you know, like the collective, what I'm saying. But it's so beautiful to be here together and to stick in our hearts, you know, with the truth. Hey, we are the creators here. We are not the victims of.
No, we just lost your transmission, Monica. So, Celio or Candace,
yeah.
you have a comment?
Yes, Dr. Fran, I have to, I called Monica 3 days ago, totally elated about this book. I really want to thank you, Dr. Fran, for choosing it. I am passionate about it, and, you know, already really digging into it. I think there's a crucial word that you read today in this chapter, and to me is from, you know, it's total shift from Abraham. And like Monica was saying, and you said before, it's all the same, but it's, at the same time, it's extremely different. So there's a big shift in this book from the previous one. And maybe one word describes that shift, and it's the word want. Because in the Abraham and money, you could want. And now it's not, it's better not to want, because there's a formula before you want to make it happen. So, it's very subtle, and to me, it's an example of the whole book. It seems like a simple formula, which is not so simple. It's been proved in Yale, and it's very scientific. I love the high-tech approach, but at the same time, it's extremely simple. So it's not about intellectualizing or rationalizing. Just do it. Just do it. Just understand how profound. And I know it's connected to the Sedona method, but I love how he makes an approach that is more geared to business and to money and to abundance. I just love that, because it's the perfect combination. And yet, for me, the point is that the formula, the release formula, is extremely simple and extremely profound. So it really deserves an incredible mastermind, because until you harness the energy that is you're reading in this chapter, and the other day we read in the preface, and we have to learn to harness that, and it's a total shift. And I'm just elated, because I've been practicing a little bit, and I really have found the last days a big shift. With all the things that I've done before, this is like diamonds. It's like enriching the energy that and I love energy work. For me, it's like what I really love it, because I think it's extremely powerful. And this is like a Rolls-Royce engine put to that Airbus 380 plane that is this mastermind. We're putting a Rolls-Royce engines with this book. This is what I find is high tech, marvelous. I don't want to use any a word like whatever, high tech, how would I say, profound divine technology or sacred technology. To me, I love that.
Well, good. Folks, I'm afraid I have to leave. We have the blessing of the fleet today, and we've got guests arriving to go on Joy for the blessing of the fleet. So I'm going to leave the rest of the discussion to you guys, and I will watch it this week on replay, and we'll reconvene next Saturday. So I love you all. Have a great day. Bye now.
Thank you, Doc Fran. Thank you. And let's keep going here with with this amazing energy that we are building, all of us. I love what you said, Celio, because the practice, the practice, to be aware that we are constantly practicing. And for me, the key here.
No sound.
Your audio is gone again, Monica. Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hello, I'm sorry. I just want to apologize for the internet that we have. Sometimes we go for 30 seconds or whatever out, and be patient, take a deep breath. We will come back for sure. But what I was saying, is the importance of realizing. I think Abraham Hicks, all the books that we were studying here, because at the end, this is key, is to be one with what is in the moment, and to make friends with the feelings. Like so many of us, and the general humanity, let's say, doesn't know how do you feel, what I'm feeling. We are so much in our heads or whatever. So I love the support that we have from this book to really get in touch, sit down. We will see the technique itself, okay? But I mean, at the end is to embrace what you are experiencing in the moment, and let that embracement, to do the release. It's not complicated, but it's true. I like the idea of practice, this is a constant practice, So, yes, Candace, go for it.
Am I muted? No?
It's okay.
Yes, you are.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, one thing, there's several things tumbling in to talk about, but one of them, the first thing would be Chinese Year of the Fire Monkey. This is the year of release. It says one of the things, because it's a number 9 year, and that inherently holds the vibration of completion. So anything and everything that's no longer serving, and I'm reading, your highest and best interest, in other words, your soul, yourself, has got to go. It's time to end any thoughts, habits, beliefs, people, places, or things that are no longer worthy of moving forward with you into the new. And so they finish that sentence with, get your goodwill gears in order now. But it's definitely exactly perfect reflection of what life is showing me right now, and probably all of us in certain ways. It's so great to come on to our weekend and to our weekend discussion here and go, oh, I just lived that this last week. So I'm enjoying what I what I call universal confirmation, that I'm on the right track, that we are on the right track, because I'm not doing this by myself. Newt. I think all of us together, and we all have our individual experiences, but when we speak to each other and we harmonize like that, oh, I had this happen, and you had that happen, and look at those parallels. Wow. It's very beautiful, and it's very life-affirming, and it's very, we are dedicated to our prosperity and to good things happening, for not just for ourselves, for everybody. And I love the way it keeps showing up. And one of the ways it's showing up is the fact that with these lower gas prices, that there are not free, but much lower, certain airlines are offering super low flights. So if anybody needs to go anywhere, it's a good time to check out your airline flights. Mwah! That's my word of the day.
Thank you, Kanda. So beautiful and empowering to see this side, that is opening, and some people have so much resistance because the addiction is a habit, is an addiction like any other, to focus on the negative. Remember with Abraham Hicks how much we learned, about we are constantly focused on the negative when the negative is here to show you the contrast. So you can really focus on what it is that you want, right? And what it is that pulls you out. So thank you so much. I love that we can really nurture this aspect in us and that we have this space where we can all get together. One day a week is pumping us, to keep supporting this direction. And knowing that we have 20 minutes here, I would love to see if we can read the chapter number 2. It's very short, but that will help us to prepare some, because you remember we always said it's not about reading the book itself, it's really about practicing and about integrating the information here. So maybe from this Saturday to the next one, you can write down something that he's asking here at the end of this chapter, and it's very short. So if you allow me, I'm going to read that very quick, and it says, getting the most from the abundance course. Scientific researchers who have studied the release technique found out through working with thousands of people that the only effective way to create spectacular and instantaneous benefit is by actually doing it. Good. Reading about it will certainly appeal to you intellectually, but only by using it experientially will you quickly realize the huge advantage of this practical method. So we are here to support each other to practice, okay? Why? Because giving you a lot of intellectual appealing materials won't help much at all. Why? Because intellectual approach is way too slow. Lester found that out. He was widely read and had learned much in his life, but that didn't help him when the chips were down. No, what helped him was when he discovered and used this ability, and use it experientially and quickly, and you can too. So it's not about how much information we make in our head and how much we know about all the cultures and all the things and all the whatever. It's really about how much I'm practicing here, Furthermore, this should be your clue. Okay. Okay. I lost it? No. Okay. Oh, okay. This could be, let's see where I am. This should be your clue as to why some things you may have tried before just didn't work. Anyone attempting to recall this ability intellectually will spend decades trying to make sense out of it, if it could be done at all. By using the release technique, you will discover it, prove it, experience it for yourself, and begin to use it on the very first day, now, right now. Releasing is something you must experience. You won't learn to release unless you actually go through the releasing process yourself in a step-by-step fashion. To try to intellectually understand how to release by simply reading about it instead of doing it is the same as reading about swimming but being unwilling to get into the water, or reading a book on how to ride a bicycle, or trying to understand what chocolate tastes like by being unwilling to eat it. You simply must do it experientially, highlighted, okay? Because it cannot be done intellectually. It must be read in a special way. I hope we do a good job here all together. You will need to become a participant and do the actual exercises in order to discover how it feels to release. After you do, you will have the ability to create the unlimited life you deserve. Wonderful. Having this book in your possession is like having an instructor at your beck and call. Anytime you want an instructor's help, you just turn to a particular page. Just sit back and watch your limitations fly away with minimal effort on your part. It's that simple. You will have the opportunity to work on issues that are important to you, and you will learn more about the technique as I guide you through the experience, just as Lester taught me. Do not forget, your first-hand experience is what counts. Learn and experience it for yourself instead of being told about it. Then it's yours forever. It's an exciting experiential learning process. Consider how it would be if you got rid of all your limitations. How would your life be if you had no limitations and you rid yourself of the limitations that are holding you back? Open the space, okay? Imagine. If you, I'm okay? We are,
Yes,
okay.
yes.
If you got rid of the guilt, if you got rid of your fears, if you got rid of procrastination, if you got rid of beating yourself up, any of these feelings can be released, and you will be able to do this using the release technique. It is that simple. All I ask you to do is follow the bouncing ball. Let me guide you through it gently, just like Lester guided me through it, and you will be happy and healthy and wealthy and wise. So, I welcome you to the most adventurous, profound, incredible journey in the history of mankind. Welcome to the Abundance Course. Before moving ahead to chapter 3, please take a moment and write down, this is what I would like all of us to think during the week, okay? Take a moment and let's do it, okay? And write down your intentions for this course. Write what you hope to get out of this course. One intention. Use the following chart. On the book there is a page where you can write here. I don't know if you see it, but I mean, and if not, you take now. You listen to us here and you do it on your own book. Use the following chart. It is very important to know just where you are going. It is like driving in unknown territory without a map. If you do are going, you cannot expect to get there. Most of us are confused and not aware of where we are going. We want you to be clear about your direction. Take a few moments and think about what your intentions are and write them down. Remember me talking about your participation. This is where you implement it. Stop reading and give yourself the gift of writing out your intentions right now. So start to think about it, okay? In order to get the maximum benefit from this course, follow it chapter by chapter. It is important to do the exercises in the exact order in which they are presented. Start by getting a pencil right now and writing your intentions for the course on the next page. So, what are your intentions for this course that we're taking here, this wonderful technique that we are going to learn here? But you know, if at the other side, when you already have accomplished and you learned it and you know the technique and you are free, what are your intentions? And here we have 2 pages that says, you know, write your intentions on a personal level and write your intentions on a professional level or spiritual level, whatever it is that you're looking for. But be clear with you that what is the pull that you have from the inside out, you know, that brought this book into your life. And I think the more we have the right to write that down, and it's something that I want to ponder myself because I do all the time. I love to write down, you know, my goals and my intentions, and in all the aspects of the life. I remember with Catherine Ponder how beautiful we learn how to do the wheel of fortune, you know, and to write on all the 4 quadrants, you know, the aspects spiritually, you know, like personally, work, you know, and health. and relationships and all that stuff. So I think it's beautiful that you take, you know, your moment to connect with you. It's okay, if this book is going to free me, you know, it's going to help me to free myself and to really, you know, open up to my unlimited potential here, what it is that calls in my heart, what it is that I really want. Okay, so take the time to do that, and we can open the call if we need some support here to get it, but I will suggest for next Saturday, please have it written down so we can go through the exercises and apply
it. For the people who are watching the live streaming, there is a place down at the left corner of the video that they can actually write in comments and questions, so we can address them here if they have any. So for those who have, so that's one thing. What else do I want to say? The intentions. Yeah, I immediately have some coming up. What happened last week for me, or last few days, is I feel really at home with a deep, deep intention in me. And I recognized for years, first I had a kind of a spiritual life with Tibetan Buddhism and meditation and that for a long time, and being a healer. Then I spent some years in trying to build up a business life. And I haven't been completely feeling in tune with it 100%, because why? Why focus on having a business life? And when I think about the concept of being a conscious entrepreneur and having that as a focus, and that I am an entrepreneur. I've been an entrepreneur all my life, since I remember picking up empty bottles on the beach. That was my first entrepreneur, you know, picking flowers and knocking on doors and selling them and so on. So that's been my life. So I am an entrepreneur, but how do I match that with my spiritual calling? And feeling and putting it in the wording of conscious entrepreneur, I feel like I'm doing my entrepreneurship, but always with the angle, always with the intention to be conscious and learn more about consciousness and about myself. And that just made me feel like I clicked. I feel like, yeah, I can. That's in harmony. That's in tune with my deepest desires. It feels right. There's no. I don't feel any disharmony that I have to override anymore. So I feel really happy to feel almost like I come home.
Welcome, conscious entrepreneur. The realization of it, you know, that I think is, I am in the same boat than you, Arne. That's what I think maybe it's one of the reasons I love you so much. I don't know. But for sure, you know, the intention behind any expression that I have as a mother, as a wife, as a friend, as a daughter, as an entrepreneur, my priority is spiritual awakening, no doubt. But what I see, and I love to hear from you, Arne, and from all of us here, I think we are pretty much in the same frequency, is how the gap, you know, between the spiritual world, you know, like peaceful, abundance, fulfillment, you know, harmony, whatever, with the physical world until now that was created from a sense of separation, okay, is getting, you know, smaller and smaller. We are very close to see that there is no such thing as separation. And to me, I love to hear that, Arne, because, you know, as a human beings, you know, knowing that we are beings, capital letters, that chose to experience this physicality and this, you know, apparent form, even though it's an illusion, we experience it and we live it, you know. We can engage with this expression from being awake, you know, or being totally ignorant and asleep and not having an idea and being the victim of all surroundings and poor me and blah, blah, blah. So I really see that pioneers like us here, you know, we are seeing, or I'm seeing that gap, you know, getting shorter and shorter, and having, as a spiritual being, you know, as a human being, spiritual human, let's say, having the entire right and the joy, you know, of enjoying this physical world with the tools that we use until we transcend them. You know, there is many people, for example, that I contact with, that they have their issues with money, just to talk about an energy that is kind of conflictive. And the more spiritual you are, the more these people apparently, you know, they don't need the money, they don't want to involve with money, they whatever, blah, 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 money. And to me, it's like, I love money. Not that I love money as a possession. I love money as an energy to respect. I mean, it's an energy of service, it's an energy of exchange, of giving and receiving to make our lives easier, you know. And to me, I feel like if we learn, like Doc Franz started the call today, you know, the reunion today, understanding that, you know, money is not a limited thing. It's really coming from a limited source. So we are going to manifest whatever it is that we need, you know. And when you get that very clear in you, it's really our individual commitment of what kind of life do you want to live. Being honest with you, you know, not rejecting or judging money. To me, I always said, I believe that maybe 100 years from now, we don't need money in this planet. But we are not going to not need money from judging money. We are not going maybe to not need money because we transcend, you know, that frequency of, I don't know, exchange or whatever. Maybe we manifest in the instant and we don't need any more tool for exchange. But meanwhile that we need it, you know, let's make peace, you know, with this beautiful energy and with our financial needs or wants or the lifestyle that everyone here, that individually you choose to give to yourself, you know. So we can take that power in us. So I love to see that gap between the spiritual fulfillment, you know, life that we all know we are, okay, start to be more easily manifested, or for a minimum conceived, you know, that we can manifest that in this physical dimension, you know. So I'm very happy and grateful about that. I don't know if you have comments of it, but I can see, you know, that that's what I think we need to hold so tight between us right now, because we are pioneers in this kind of thinking, you know, to really bring spirituality to the market. You know, like it's easy maybe to go to the Himalayas or to go to an ashram, or to me, I had that doubts many times in my life. It's like, come on, I'm done with this, and now I have relationships and people and money and business. Like, oh, forget it, you know, I have to figure out everything. And when you are in alignment, I don't know if they hear me now.
Yeah.
Okay. And when you are in alignment, no, I see that they are stuck in the...
No, I hear you.
You hear me? Okay. Yeah. When we are in alignment, to me, the sense that I get is that you don't have to be so much in control, you know, of everything, because everything flows and is much more clear. You are much more connected with divine intelligence that you are, and that's who we are, you know. So I'm very excited, as you can see. And I don't know if you have any other comment here. Any other questions? Show that chart. Yes, I can do that. Someone is asking me to show the chart that the book is offering here, and I can even read to you what it says here in the beginning. It says, write your intentions for the course, what you hope to accomplish. So listen to your heart, you know. Here's an opportunity to focus on the issues that are most important to you. View this sheet as a wish list of whatever you would like to change or improve in all areas of your life, both personally and professionally. You can refer back to this list from time to time to find issues you would like to address. This course is the beginning of many positive changes in your life, so allow your list to far exceed what you think you can accomplish during the course. Okay, so is that enough, Candace, for you to see this? And whoever you don't have your book in the hand, you know, like to really just to have a space to write your intention personally and professionally.
Can we check if they are hearing us?
Excuse me?
Are you guys there? I don't know if they hear us.
Can you hear me?
I hear
No.
So
No, I can hear you. Can you hear us? Celio, okay. Okay, he can.
Perfect. Okay.
Okay. Do you want to say something? Anyone who would like to say something before we close this energy? I don't want to begin the next chapter because I think we already are going to start to work on something, and we will do with Dr.
I just feel like adding Monica to to the wish list. I think it's important for all of us to make a wish list, and more than getting, oh my God, or is my dreams or wish, just being conscious and aware that with the energy of this book, of this training, anything that we want is definitely going to not to be manifested instantly, but like, you know, like the blocks before that manifestation are going to be and are being removed, because it's extremely powerful. I've been practicing it for the last 10 days, and I mean, it's incredible. It's very profound, it's very powerful, and I think it's great. You know, it's so much more fun just to be aware that we have this tool right now. And like, you know, we were sharing right now, there's not this nothing that, you know, there's not a limitation, there's not a barrier between business, money, and spirituality, and and the divine. It's all the same energy, you know, and that's so important. And we're going to go very deep in that in this book. You know, to me, it's that, and that's so basic because we have so many barriers. And like you were saying, Arne, I've been an entrepreneur and I've been in business, I've had money. Yeah, but I didn't have the consciousness of this energy that is sacred in a way. You know, to me, it's totally sacred. I mean, I have no problems with that word, but it's at the same time, it's like electricity. You know, it's like, you know, you cannot define it. You know, you just feel it. So let's open ourselves to feel this energy without limits, without limits, no limits in this release technique. I just love it. I'm having the time of my life since I started this book.
I can feel it. I can feel it that you love it. You're so passionate. I love it too, because that's contagious. So great. Thank you so much, Telio. And like I say, you know, like forget intellectually, you know, if you can want or not want or whatever. We will learn, you know, from where we choose our desires here. But right now, I think that the process of this book is asking from us to free ourselves, to really write on paper what it is that you really wish inside your heart, you know, for you.
Looks like Monica's.
Yes.
Okay, I'm back. Looks like. Yes. Yes, well, I was just saying, you know, take the time to write that down, commit yourself, you know, like to, you know, like to really give to you. You know, I always said the first relationship that you have in this planet, you know, in this dimension is you here. You know, like if I don't take care of Monica, how can I take care of my neighbor? You know, it's like, I mean, I'm going to really take care of this Monica first with all my love, and I know that more love will extend more love, you know, and more care and more unconditional everything. So take the time to follow your wishes here, to write them down, and for next session on next Saturday, that is going to be February 27. Oh my gosh, at the end of February already. Wow. We can play, you know, like really use our intentions to release our limitations, okay? Because remember when excuse me?
Candice wanted to speak.
Yes? Okay. Okay, Candace.
I was just sitting there saying, wow, I loved what you said.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much, Candace. And, you know, I will say that with this, we can start to complete for today. And I don't know if you have something to say more, Arne, Telio, or Candace, or anyone writing.
Yes, just a little list here on the things, on the topics that we can have goals with or intentions with. It's with our health, with our spirituality, if you want to do that, your travels, your relationships, where you want to live and how you want to live, your circumstances, your money situation. So these are a few topics just to refresh your mind to focus on.
Oh, thank you. That's beautiful guidance, Arne. And with this, Candace, yes, you want to say something here?
I was just go right ahead. Go ahead and close.
Okay. I
was just anticipating that we were almost finished.
What did you say?
I was anticipating that we were almost finished, and I wish everybody a beautiful day.
Well, you can do that.
Yes. Yeah, I just did. I do.
Okay, beautiful. Well, that's what we are left here to do. Wishing you a wonderful weekend, of course, and then a wonderful week. Just remember that you just opened today a journey that can be very empowering to you, so it's up to you to choose to The deeper you go, the deeper you will get, and the more you get involved, you know, the more you really practice this and believe in, the more you are going to get out of it. So it's up to you, responsible person, mature coaches. Okay, guys, thank you so much for coming here. Remember that we have these live streams recorded under unlimitednetwork.com/mastermind, so you can always go back there. And so, you know, to refresh your mind or to feel the support from this group and to go for it, okay? We are here to be fully ourselves out, enjoying this life fully. Okay, so have a wonderful week, and if you need anything particular or want you to be here in the panel, remember to email Arne, A-R-N-E, @unlimitednetwork.com. Thank you, everyone, and have a wonderful week.
Thank you, Monica. Thank you all you guys, and on the other side. Thank you. See you all.